Bannerman is reporting Luka Doncic will not play tonight against the Bucks as he continues to manage an ankle injury. It's the second game of a back-to-back for the Lakers. Luka, 31 and a big win over the Nuggets last night, but it appears he will be taking.
And for a 4-point play, recapping last night's NBA action. Luka Doncic wasted no time against the Nuggets, scoring 21 of his 31 points in the first quarter of a 120-108 victory. That matched the most points a Laker has scored in a quarter this season. The Suns overtook the Mavs for the final West play-in spot after a win over the Bulls and a Mavs loss to the Pacers. Phoenix's win streak for the first time since January. Sandro Mamukelashvili maximized his time as the Spurs upset the Knicks. Mamu scored 34 points in 19 minutes, the most by any player when playing fewer than 20 minutes. And Cade Cunningham and the Pistons knocked off the Heat on a go-ahead 3 with less than a second remaining. Cunningham had a triple-double with 25 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists. Cade called game, and we call NBA analyst Udonis Haslem. Okay, so let's circle back to the Lakers. 3 straight wins since going 0-4 during their latest road trip. What is clicking as they, of course, wait for LeBron to come back?
I mean, what stands out to me, Christine, is the balance of all guys. You know, last night they had 6 guys in double figures. We're talking about the bench mob. I love what they got going up. The Goon Squad coming off the bench. You got Jarvis Vanderbilt. You got Gabe Vincent. You got Dalton Connect. Those are hard-nosed guys. They're getting involved. And I think the best part about the balance is as you go into the playoffs, those guys build confidence, and you can't necessarily just game plan for LeBron James and Luka Doncic as easy as you would because these other guys are filling in the gaps.
All right, so the Lakers, they face the Bucks tonight. They've dropped 5 of their last 7, including losses to the Magic, the Pacers, and the Cavs, all teams that Milwaukee could face in the playoffs. So what exactly is wrong with the Bucks?
I really think the Bucks are missing a guy like Bobby Portis. I think when you look at the Bucks team, you have, great scoring and the top scoring duo in the league with Damian Lillard and Giannis, but you need that locker room guy, that enforcer, that guy that holds guys accountable, that guy that connects the locker room. Bobby Portis is a fan favorite. He's also a team favorite, and people don't understand how important and how much of an impact a guy like Bobby Portis brings to that team off the basketball court just as well as on the basketball court. Yeah,
certainly he's an anchor. The Bucks are on their longest road trip of the season, a 5-game, 10-day West Coast swing that began with a loss to the Warriors on Tuesday night. UD, we'll see you later in the show.
See you later, Christina.
Bam fights through the screen. Cunningham gets the ball against Bam. Pulls up for the win. Got it! Detroit basketball with the lead with .6 to go. And they storm into Dade County and get the buzzer-beating win.
All right, back with us is Heat legend Udonis Haslem. So, UD, how much did it hurt your eyes to see Cade sink that in Miami?
Broke my heart. I am still in pain. I reached out to all my guys last night. I was encouraged by the effort that they gave. They never broke spirit, but at the end of the day, Cade Cunningham is a hell of a young player. I mean, there's 8 guys in this league that average 25 points, at least 5 rebounds, and at least 5 assists. He is one of those 8. We're talking about Luka Doncic. We're talking about Bron. We're talking about Jason Tatum. We're talking about SGA. We're talking about Giannis. We're talking about Joker. Cade Cunningham is in the conversation with those guys. The Heat have nothing to be ashamed about. They left it all on the court last night, but Detroit just was a little bit better.
Yeah, that's certainly some good company to be in. Behind Cade, the Pistons are having their best season in nearly 20 years, just 1 game behind in the standings from the court advantage in the first round. So how dangerous can Detroit be in the playoffs?
Detroit basketball. I got to give them a little love, man. I'm a hard-nosed guy. You got to give JB Bickerstaff and that coaching staff some love and shout out to what they've been doing. They've got this young group collectively playing the right way. They've got veteran leaderships in Tobias Harris and Tim Hardaway Jr. They've got young studs in the paint with Jalen Durant and obviously, Cade Cunningham. They've been able to maximize Malik Beasley. He's broken the 3-point record in Detroit this year for the single season. So they've been able to maximize the potential all the while by bringing the young guys along. And I think that combination is going to help them in the playoffs. I think if they get the right matchup in the first round, I ain't saying no names because people been on me a little bit, but if they get the right matchup in the first round, I definitely think they can have a first-round upset. They're tough, they're hard-nosed, and they got a chip on their shoulder.
All right, we'll see what they're able to do. It is time, UD, for you do or you don't. You tell us if you agree or disagree with the following statements. Okay, you do or you don't have concern for the Cavs losing 3 straight immediately after their 16-game winning streak.
No concern for the Cavs at all. After winning 16 straight, of course you're going to lose a couple games. If there's one thing I would tap into if I'm the Cavs is they give up 111 points a game. The other night, the Clippers had 111 points in the fourth quarter with 10 minutes left. That is not Cavaliers defense. They got to get back to what their anchor is. They can score the ball easily, but they got to defend.
All right, you do or you don't see the Rockets making some noise in the West?
I do. I like this young Rocket team. I love Ime Udoka. I think this team has taken on the personality of their coach. He's a gritty, hard-nosed guy. He holds everybody accountable. They play together. They're young. They got athleticism. They got youth. They're excited. And sometimes you don't know what you don't know. They don't know that they're not supposed to be the second seed. Everybody's talking about the Lakers in Denver right now, but Houston's sitting right there being consistent.
Finally, you do or you don't see the Suns making the play-in tournament?
I do. I do, and this is by default. The teams that are behind them, I just don't see them catching them. So I do see the Suns getting into the play-in tournament. And who knows? I mean, you got Kevin Durant, you got Booker, you got players over there, so they'll have a chance against anybody on any given night.
All right, we'll see what happens. UD, thank you so much for joining us on SportsCenter.
Home team, Christine, thank you.
You do and you don't love the NCAA tournament. The lower-seeded favorites playing tomorrow. The 12th-seeded Colorado State Rams in action against Memphis. They are currently a 1.5-point favorite. And then another one to keep an eye on tomorrow in the Friday action. North Carolina and Ole Miss, one of the trendy teams coming out of the play-in first four. 11 seeds, won a record of 64 games last season. As we bring in, you got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to
fold them.
Friday likes. What do you like? Give it to me.
All right, tomorrow, UNC, Ole Miss. I'm one of those people thinking UNC is trendy for a reason. I think after they were lucky, let's say, to get into this tournament, they're playing with house money here, Barry.
That's right.
It's a free roll, and we saw them dominate in the 11 play-in. I think they can take advantage of an Ole Miss team and just be one of those, like UCLA a few years ago as an 11 seed that made it all the way to the Final Four. I think they can make a deep run, and it starts with beating Ole Miss. We got to throw Duke into the mix because they're in action. They're laying 32.5. I'm not going to do that. I will, however, take their team total over 86.5. If they are going to cover 32.5, you best believe they're going to have to score at least 90 or 100 points. So rather than worry about the spread, I'll isolate Duke's offense and say they can give me 87 in that matchup. One of my favorite underdogs, Lipscomb plus 14.5. I even think they're live on the money line, which is plus 800. Iowa State missing Keyshawn Gilbert, second leading scorer, number one on the team in assists per game. And Lipscomb has a great recipe for March. They're 9th in the country at free throw rate. They hit 79% of their free throws, and they turn the ball over less than 10 times per game, which was 12th in the country. Take care of the rock and make your free throws. That's good for covering, maybe even pulling a 14-3 upset.
There's always one of these that wrecks it for everyone. We'll see if he can do the same, but on the good side.
This is the main bracket of the two, by the way.
I'm done.
All right, student athletes.
Manneman is reporting Luka Doncic will not play tonight against the Bucks as he continues to manage an ankle injury. It's the second game of a back-to-back for the Lakers. Luka, 31 in a big win over the Nuggets last night, but it appears he will be taking.
And for a 4-point play, recapping last night's NBA action. Luka Doncic wasted no time against the Nuggets, scoring 21 of his 31 points in the first quarter of a 120-108 victory. That matched the most points a Laker has scored in a quarter this season. The Suns overtook the Mavs for the final West play-in spot after a win over the Bulls and a Mavs loss to the Pacers. Phoenix's win streak for the first time since January. Sandro Mamukelashvili maximized his time as the Spurs upset the Knicks. Mamu scored 34 points in 19 minutes, the most by any player